In one of my recent videos, which I prepared on another college and their 1 year MBA program for working professionals, I got a comment from one of our viewers that make a similar video on the B School program of IIM-A, which is IIM-A PGPX, the 1 year MBA at IIM-A. So I thought, let's make this video. I hope this benefits you if you are watching this video, and let's get started. As always, I'll firstly talk a little about the cohort profile, the median GMAT or GRE scores to get into the college, the placement packages, the kind of recruiters who are visiting campus, and I'll touch base on the essays and then wrap up with my closing thoughts. So I have my notes open in front of me. So firstly, broadly 160 students in the batch, average age is 31 years. Why is it high? Because the median work ex of the batch is also high as compared to the likes of Auxiliary or ISB or SP Gen, which is 7 to 8 years of work ex on an average. And the website of IIM-A showcases the average GMAT score, which is a little biased as a metric. The median score, I believe, bases the experiences of our mentees who have gotten through into the program in the previous year and the last year is broadly 665, 670. So a little lower as compared to ISB in terms of the median GMAT requirement. And in terms of the pay package for this 1 year residential full-time MBA for IIM-A, very similar to ISB in terms of blended metrics, which is the median is 35 lakhs per annum and the mean is 37, very similar to ISB PGP. And when you look at the kind of recruiters visiting campus, I made a video on this doing a comparative analysis of IIM-A PGPX placements and ISB placements. You can watch that video on the channel. And I made a video on IIM-A PGPX essays as well, so you can watch that as well. But broadly, mota moti, if I have to synthesize that video, the first video, the mix of recruiters is typically consulting, technology consulting, product management, and general management or manufacturing and operations role, right? So it's very common to see the likes of Accenture, Amazon, Cognizant, HDFC, Coca-Cola for general management roles, ExxonMobil for a general management role, KPMG for consulting, McKinsey for consulting. McKinsey and Accenture recruit very heavily from IIM-A. That's what I've seen from my own LinkedIn research and after talking to a lot of alums and mentees who have passed out from the program, followed by general management recruiters like Tata, Power and RPG Group and Reliance and Adani, right? So that is the split, and you can definitely explore that detailed video which I talked about. When it comes to the criterion, you need to have at least 4 years of full-time work experience by 31st March 2026, right? So if let's say you are applying for the PGPX, which will roll out its admissions right now in 2025, so you will need to have at least 4 years of experience by 31st March 2026. That's the cutoff date. Very similar to ISB. For ISB, the benchmark is at least 2 years. Here, the benchmark is at least 4 years as on the cutoff date, which is 31st March 2026, full-time experience, right? And barring that, now coming to the deadlines once before I talk about the essays. The deadlines, there are 3 rounds. They are a little sooner as compared to ISB. So ISB has its deadlines in September mid, then December first week, then January last week, typically for round 1, round 2, round 3 respectively. For IIM-A, the deadlines are August end, October mid and December first week. So even before the third round of ISB commences, you can expect to hear back from IIM-A for its round 3 admits, right? So it's very soon. And the tricky part here is, or the different part here is, that IIM-Ahmedabad doesn't make you write the essays from the get-go. For ISB, if you recall, ISB makes you submit 3 essays typically as part of the screening phase of the application, which includes the GMAT or GRE, essays, LOR, CV, profile, extracurriculars, academics, all of that. Here it's different. Firstly, when I say the deadline means you have to submit a form which typically talks about key responsibilities at work, your academics, your basic foundations of a professional CV. But they don't make you write any essays here. When I say the deadline is August 30th, 2025, for example, for round 1 for IIM-Ahmedabad, they just make you fill a form which is 3 to 4 pages long, which typically revolves around work responsibilities, key achievements, organization, work trajectory, and academics, of course, and salary as well. Once you are shortlisted after this form is submitted on the portal, then by, let's say, September first weekend, September 6th, you will get a notification on whether you are shortlisted or not. And if you are shortlisted, then you have to write 3 essays within a span of 48 to 72 hours. Typically, it's 48 hours, September 6th and September 7th. Typically, or sometimes it can be 72 hours as well. Mota moti, my point is ki please don't assume that, I'll write my essays only if I get a shortlist. अभी तो बहुत टाइम नहीं है. Once you submit the application and if you wait for the notification of the shortlist, you only have 72 hours, which is 3 days, to prepare and submit 3 essays. And they are difficult to write. I'll talk about them, right? So if you are a serious, ardent applicant for IIM-Ahmedabad PGPX, please write your essays before submitting that stage 1 form which talks about key responsibilities at work. Don't wait for the school to give you a shortlist by September first weekend and then you will spend 72 hours to write the essays, right? So jaldi essays likh lena, because 3 days mein essays nahi likhe jate. And then another unique thing about IIM-A is, the first stage is you submit a form which talks about key responsibilities. Then after 1 week, you hear back from the school on whether you are shortlisted or not. If you're shortlisted, in 72 hours, you have to submit 3 essays. Then if you receive an interview call, after that, you need to give an interview to IIM-Ahmedabad faculty members. Here, typically alumni are not present. These are typically faculty members. Some of these members and faculty roster will teach you as well. And one thing, apart from faculty taking the interviews and not alums, one thing that makes the IIM-A interviews even more unique, apart from this, is that IIM-A interviews typically involve an extempore round. What I mean by that is, in addition to the behavioral questions that you will prepare, which is why IIM-Ahmedabad and what you want to do, questions based on the essays which I'll cover, they also make you pick a chit out of, let's say, a bowl. And if, let's say, my topic as a candidate is Operation Sindoor, or should India have reacted differently to the ceasefire violations by Pakistan, or how can India become a 5 trillion economy by 2047, or what caused the deterioration of diplomatic harmony between Canada and India, or how can we stop the brain drain happening from the country. They'll make you pick a topic which can be related to history, geopolitics, military warfare, or business, and then they'll ask you your opinion on it. And they'll not only say ki, "Theek hai, you speak for 2 minutes and we'll listen." They're not sitting there as an audience. They're sitting there to interject and debate with you on your views. So in these sort of interview rounds, when you have to think and speak on the spot, first thing to do is be very, very aware of or be abreast of what is happening in the world. So please start reading the newspaper. I personally use Economic Times, the Ken, and the Mint app, very useful for me. And be aware of the news. You can't assume that, मेरे को shortlist आएगा तब मैं news पढ़ूंगा. You can't read the news of the last 1 year in 2 days, right? And It's not only about vomiting out facts and figures, it's about showcasing your opinion. If Sarthak is saying that India acted fairly when they were executing Operation Sindoor, and they should have agreed to Pakistan's ceasefire agreement, which was done with the mediation of USA, then the interviewers can interject and tell you, but Pakistan violated the ceasefire, right? They made a mockery out of the ceasefire agreement. So how can you say that we reacted well? We should have been even more aggressive to set an example for state-sponsored terrorism once and for all, right? So they'll try to intervene and interject you at the same time. So it's not only about keeping facts and figures in my mind, it's about forming a very lucid opinion basis those facts and figures on whatever topic is given to you. So that is what makes IIM-A interviews very different. Now coming to the essays, I have made a separate video on the IIM-A essays. I'll request you to check it out, but I'll cover the essays in brief right now as well. There are 3 essays typically which you have to write within 72 hours. The first essay is describe some of the challenges you have faced in the last 3 years of your work life and how you were able to overcome them. So challenges in work life means you were a part of a project, be it as an individual contributor or as a manager or both, and how did you tackle these challenges? So I tell my mentees, if let's say one challenge was not being able to interpret a lot of data or coming from a non-engineering background and being made to use R or SQL or Python, which I had to learn on the go, can be one challenge. The second challenge that you should definitely talk about should be how you are leading a team, be it formally or informally, for the first time in your life, and how did you overcome that challenge, be it pushback from your subordinates, be it the fact that you were not gelling well as a team, or be it the fact that there was a lot of duplication of effort, right? So think about challenges as an individual contributor in the early years of your career, be it with a Tata Motors or an Infosys or a TCS or a Zomato, and challenges as a team manager, right? Talk about different shades of challenges, not the same type. This is 500 words, so we can easily spend 150, 160 words per challenge, which is what happened, what transpired, how did I react, how did I ameliorate the situation and the outcome and my learnings. The second is tell us what is special about you that makes you a good addition to the classroom. I love this question because this is very similar to IIM Ahmedabad saying, what value will you add to the cohort, be it through your professional or personal experiences? Once again, 500 words. Try to look up on the student clubs and councils and experiential learning programs available in IIM Ahmedabad and where exactly can you add value. If Sarthak has worked extensively in the operations department of, let's say, EPFO, right, Employee Provident Fund organization in his city for the last 7 years. So he can talk about how he will be able to carry those learnings of operations management to the classroom, which specific electives will he add value to, and beyond the classroom, which club, right? So think of 2 professional value adds, think of 1 personal value add, which can be Sarthak has played sports like badminton and cricket throughout his life, and now he can share the joy of these sports for his peers via the sports club. Just an example, it can be creativity, it can be sports, it can be stand-up comedy as well. So 2 professional value adds and 1 personal value add in that order. Last is what will a management degree bring to you at this stage of your career? I like this essay, I'll tell you why. The question doesn't say what will IIM-A do for your career, right? The question is, what will a management degree do for you? The question is not why Ahmedabad, the question is why an MBA. So when you're writing this essay, you can talk about the whole framework that, this is what I've done till now. This is what I want to do in my life, my short-term, long-term aspirations. These are the gaps. Then talk about how will a business school help you plug those gaps, whether it's through networking, whether it's business acumen, whether it's experiential learning, whether it's international immersion, or whether it's an amalgamation of all these things. which simultaneously can only be provided in a business school. Think about business school, don't get fixated on I'm Ahmedabad, mere liye kya karega. That's a mistake that a lot of mentees do, right? Because the question is, what will a management degree do for you? Not what will an MBA from IIM-A do for you, right? So I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you very soon, and take care.